Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Friday the 13th on the GeForce GTX 1050, 2GB for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using cam due to Easy Anti-Cheat, which is the anti-cheat software this game uses, so I'll be using MSI Afterburner instead. And if you want to purchase any of the pods featured in this build and support the channel, there are Amazon affiliate links down in the description too. So Friday the 13th, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p and 720p. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you 1080p, trying to get 60 frames per second, which won't be perfect. It will be between 45 and a little over 60 frames per second. Then after that, I'll just crank up the settings as much as I can, trying to be over 30 frames per second. Then I'll switch to 900p. First I'll try to get 60s, then I'll just crank up the settings trying to be over 30, just like on the 1080p section. And finally I switch to 720p and I'll do the same. I'll show you a 60 frames per second configuration and then I'll crank up the settings trying to be over 30. You'll see that I will select the maximum settings except in textures on 720p, trying to get 30 frames per second. But I'll find out that I have to lower the shadows from epic to high. If not, you'll get some drops below 30 frames per second. So far with this card, I saw that it was a little better than the GTX 950, since I was able to get close to 60 frames per second on 1080p, the 950 couldn't, but the 950 was only a few frames behind. Even at 720p I saw very similar frame rates to the 950, so I don't see much of a difference at all, only on 1080p and some parts of 900p. Apart from that, they were pretty similar. So this game was made using Unreal Engine 4, so I was expecting it to be quite demanding on the GPU. What was very interesting was that in the system requirements, the recommended GPU was a GTX 750 Ti, so I'm not sure what the recommended settings mean. There's even an i3 listed in the recommended requirements, so that's kind of nonsense for this game actually, because I tried it with a 1050 Ti and I couldn't max it out on 1080p without drops below 30 frames per second on some places. So I don't know what they were thinking when they made the system requirements. And in the options menu we have usually the same settings that you can find on an Unreal Engine 4 game. We have a resolution scale slider, which is good to see for both super sampling and upscaling. Then we have anti-aliasing, which is not listed which solution it is. Effects, foliage, post-processing, shadows, textures and view distance. So far, to get a good FPS boost, I had to lower most of the settings, but the first ones that I saw the biggest difference in performance were shadows, post-processing and effects. Those were the ones that I saw more of a performance impact when they were on epic or high, so I suggest lowering those first. And then foliage and view distance have a lower impact in performance, but they still have an impact. So I recommend lowering them in groups, especially effects, shadows and post-processing. For textures, if you have a 4GB video card, you can play it on Epic without an issue. It was using over 2GB of VRAM with textures on Epic, so I will try high or medium if you have a 2GB video card. But yeah, so far indoors the game runs pretty good when you're just looking for items inside a building. The problem is when you go outside and you have a lot of trees, a lot of foliage, maybe some water here and there. But so far just looking into the distance into those open areas is enough to have a noticeable drop in performance. And in the options menu I had some issues with the resolution. If I chose full screen, the game will just force 720p, but it didn't say 720p in the menu. And if I selected full screen windowed and I selected any resolution I wanted, it will force 1080p. So there's something weird going on with the options menu. That's why on 900p and 720p I'm playing on windowed mode, so I can actually use 900p and 720p. So I'm sorry about that, but the game is just weird with the resolutions. That's why on my videos you won't usually see 1440p and 4K on this game. I found it quite difficult to use DSR since the game is not really going over 1080p for some reason. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Copy, I'm in route therapy. Air Force 97.
We need your help. Jason is killing us. We need your help. Jason is alive.